You are dealing this month with the law of one. And the law of one states quite clearly that all is part of everything else. Indeed, esoteric wisdom states that everything lives and moves and has its being within a greater being. Your poet spoke of no man being an island. Separation is an illusion based upon fear or pain. When you work with the law of one, you do not work with either of those. You do not consider fear or pain. You consider the fact that you are part of all that is. You are at one with all life everywhere. Everything is interconnected. The attraction comes from the frequency. If you want to love yourself, if you genuinely focus on what is lovable about you, even though you do not feel yet that you are totally lovable, the simple fact of focusing on what you are currently able to see is lovable about you lifts your frequency to a vibration that will attract to you people who reflect that back to you. And the more they reflect it back, the more it seems believable and the more easily you are able to accept and love yourself. And so more keeps coming. Frequency, developed and determined by your attitudes and perceptions, is the method by which you are able to walk your spiritual path. When you stand in the frequency which says, I am a human being, part of the divine, part of the all that is, and anything is possible for me if I choose, then you unite the first three laws. The law of one, because you are aligned, the law of attraction and acceptance, and the law of frequency, which is also about harmlessness. The more you align to a frequency that respects others even when you disagree with them, the more you stand at a universal level. If you were to see yourself at the center of a web, the law of transformation says to you that by standing at the center of that web and choosing where to take your energy, you can change how that web looks. So you can change its appearance. You can decide what you are choosing to attract and keep that becomes nourishment for you on your journey. That everything you catch in that web, if you are consciously cooperating, provides an opportunity for you to learn and to grow, so that your soul transforms all the unresolved aspects within it that it came to transform. That is the true purpose of transformation. In light of the fact that you incarnated to have a good time, our question to you is, how about seeking more? How about exploring how you can enjoy wholeheartedly the reality you have created and which you are now experiencing? If you stand still, you will be caught in emotion. You will be caught in the trap and the argument between your mind telling you what you should do and your emotions telling you what you are afraid to do. By contrast, indeed by the law of contrast. You stand in love and you explore all there is possible for you to do. Genuine value says, this is who I am, and it matters not whether others appreciate who I be or not. If I appreciate who I be, all is well. So the law of abundance, first of all, calls into question your ability to value self fully and freely. Fully says, this is who I am. These are my strengths, these are my challenges. Freely says, if there is a condition, it's also part of who I am and is not going to limit. Basically, the significance of this particular aspect of universal energy is a reflection of love. We want you to look at the law of limitation as the most beautiful gift your soul and your guidance, your teachers, can give to you. Because here is the opportunity to step out of fear, to step out of judgment, to say, this is an area in which I am limited. What is this trying to show me? To look at those who you feel limit you and ask yourself, why have I drawn this person into my reality? What am I trying to learn that requires the presence of this one? The law of transmutation is one of the most powerful and least understood of all laws. It's one of the simplest to employ, and yet most of the time is unemployed. When you feel you have been activated, stirred up by the actions, the conversation of another, that is the beginning of a process. If you recognize it and ask, what is it I am to learn in this situation? Having that understanding gifted to you can become a starting point if you do not then allow your mind to take over. For the law of manifestation to operate in all its glory, because it's a glorious energy, you need to be willing to be open and unconditional yourself. For example, if you are conditional about who you are, then what you manifest will come as a consequence of the filters of those conditions. Your spiritual journey is about you. It's not about how you see yourself. If therefore you are truly walking a spiritual path, the label you wear is not as important or significant as the experiences you encounter that help you to shape who you are, that enable you to become more of who you are. The law of love requires no action in the outer world. The law of love is all about action on inner levels. If you are looking at how you can develop your community, then focus upon being who you be. Focus upon being unconditional in your willingness to cooperate and collaborate energetically. until you master energy by understanding it, accepting it, and collaborating with it. You cannot master love. The idea of gratitude as a practice is being propounded around your world as something wonderful to perform. We would say that there is a miscalculation, misunderstanding of the purpose of gratitude. We would suggest that to exchange gratitude for thankfulness steps you out of the need to atone, steps you out of a judgment of your worthiness or lack of it, and steps you into a simple acknowledgement of events which are occurring in your life. Because when you stand in unconditional love, you know all is well, and therefore acknowledging every event adds to that. This particular law, the law of being, is very simple. It asks you to do nothing except be, and yet the very simplicity of it causes so many of you a challenge. Practice being by experiencing yourself, not from the perspective of what you want or desire or hope or fear or judge, simply from the perspective of how you move through your day. The more you become, the more you be, and the less you do unconsciously. Ultimately, by mastering the law of being, all that you do is automatically aligned with all that is. Imagine, therefore, that as a consequence you will never make a mistake. Goodness, what a shock to the system.